I haven't talked about Guild Wars 2 in a while, but I've been clocking the hours in the background. It's a little rough around the edges, but Guild Wars 2 absolutely shines when it comes to large-scale open world content, its mount system, and a progression system that values intrinsic rewards over raw power. At this point, I'd comfortably say Guild Wars 2 is my personal favourite subscription-free MMORPG.
We have a lot to talk about, don't we?
I'm going to give you an overview of my experiences with Guild Wars 2, its systems, player housing, the story and characters, the different mounts you can get, what Guild Wars 2 does different, and talk about its expansions and my personal favourites.
That is an agreeable arrangement.
But I want to jump right into my favourite bit, the world itself. Over the course of the game, the way Guild Wars 2 designs its open world generally becomes a bit more refined with each expansion. But as you start out, you're free to explore the world. It's got a bit of the open world formula with different types of activities across the map. You do have a main story to work through as well, I'll talk more on that later.
It's a big job.
But where the open world really excels is in its event system. Instead of traditional quests, players naturally come together to respond to events, like defending or recapturing towns, escorting NPCs, or maybe to take part in something goofy like a pineapple dance-off. These events feel dynamic, often reacting to what's happening in the world, and many of them chain together into larger encounters.
It's down! Fire the siege engine! Go, go, go!
But where it gets really good, every 2 hours or so, each region of the map has what are called meta events. These are large-scale, map-wide activities that lead to massive world bosses, with tons of players all working towards a shared goal. I've got to admit, it feels amazing getting an arena full of treasure chests to open after a hard-fought victory.
You will be consumed like all the rest!
There's some epic world boss fights, and what makes it extra special is the sense of scale and cooperation. You're part of this huge raid of players all moving together, all contributing whether you're a veteran or a newbie who just wandered by. Some world bosses require leadership and communication skills. That's where players can step up as a commander to guide and direct people. And in my experience, Guild Wars 2 has a pretty great community and plenty of helpful commanders. Quite a few world bosses require everyone to split up into multiple groups, and multiple commanders will lead different raids of people in different locations across the map at the same time. It's generally pretty epic. You feel like you're a small part of something huge. It's the best world boss content I've seen for a very long time, and I do appreciate that the game doesn't treat me like an idiot. You can fail these encounters.
When your world burns, your failure will be their final thought.
Now, before we get into equipment and gear, if you love RPGs, consider subbing to Peter Bytes or giving the video a like. I'm a bit of an indie game developer who covers RPGs, and I'm replaying the whole Final Fantasy series while ranking them. Thank you.
Dismissed.
So most MMOs are built around keeping you on a treadmill with higher gear levels, and personally I'm getting fatigued of seasonal gear resets, running the same content I've already completed multiple times just to get another piece of gear with slightly higher numbers.
Plenty of accounts to back that up.
Guild Wars 2 takes a completely different approach. Once you hit endgame, you earn your Ascended gear, which has this pink colour, and that can literally last you forever.
Oh, sharp as always, Commander.
From there, you kind of set up your own personal goals, like taking the time to unlock new mounts like the Sky Scale, and earning legendary weapons or equipment, which are more about cosmetics and prestige, not raw power. That's a game design philosophy that bleeds into almost every part of the game.
It's showtime!
So you start out by picking your race, Ashura, Sylvari, Human, Norn or Char, and then your class. Engineer, Necromancer, Thief, Elementalist, Warrior, Ranger, Mesmer, Guardian and Revenant.
Move out!
Personally, I'd say Guild Wars 2 is fairly strong in the RPG customization department. You can fine-tune your build and playstyle, and 2 players of the same class can make it feel completely different. Down the line, you can even build it into different specializations. I love my Reaper Necromancer that wields a greatsword. It's just so much more aggressive and just sick as hell. I've got to say, compared to more traditional tab target MMOs, combat here feels much more fluid. Your abilities simply hit anything within their range or area of effect. You're not constantly worrying about locking onto targets. And you might be thinking there's not many skills on my hotbar, but Guild Wars 2 has plenty of depth to its combat.
Exactly!
For one, often a skill isn't a single element. Once you've used a skill, it then becomes a follow-up combo skill. You also choose which utility skills sit on your hotbar, and you can swap to a secondary weapon set mid-combat, completely changing how your character plays. For example, I've come to love dual-wielding swords. They let me fire piercing energy beams, which is perfect when I need a bit of distance from enemies. And I want to get into another one of the best bits of this game, because I genuinely think Guild Wars 2 is ahead of almost every other MMO when it comes to its mount system. You'll unlock many mounts from naturally playing through the story, especially in the Pacifier expansion, but some mounts you'll have to earn for yourself by completing a series of achievements. You're essentially raising your own mount. It can take a bit of effort, but it's absolutely worth it.
It'll take some time before they're big enough to carry you to battle, but they'll get there.
Every mount brings something unique to the table. Even now I'm still swapping to different mounts for different situations, and it really extends on Guild Wars 2's sense of exploration. Raptors let you cover ground quickly with long distance leaps. Springer is great for traversing vertically with its powerful jumps. Skimmer is basically the aquatic mount. Jackals can blink short distances and make use of portals. Griffins let you take to the skies with gliding. Roller beetles are extremely fast but take a bit of skill to turn and drift effectively. Warclaws are a bit heavier with throwing spears and chain pulls.
You look like a pretty experienced rider.
Siege turtles are a two-person mount, great for bringing down gates or environmental objects. While the Skyscale is hands down my favourite. A little slower but quite versatile and can fly a bit, latching onto walls to climb vertically. Every mount in Guild Wars 2 has a clear purpose, they all play and feel very different. Some of the later expansions even centre around certain mounts with encounters and world bosses designed to utilise your mount's abilities. It's sick as hell seeing a raid of Warclaws hooking onto a world boss and chaining them up. Love that 100%, and the design philosophy ties into another feature I really like, which is the Mastery system. You'll unlock a selection of different masteries, some tied to mounts, others to new systems like gliding, fishing or skiffs, and some are dedicated to specific regions. Mastering these improves these features, giving you bonuses or new abilities. You rank up these masteries by earning experience points and mastery points, which you can find out in the world or earn by completing achievements. The Mastery system is an alternative form of progression, and I love that kind of stuff in RPGs. You don't need these masteries to play the game, but you want them. And that's the brilliance of Guild Wars 2's horizontal design philosophy. People are still returning to older content because they want the masteries, they want the rewards, and every corner of the world has something worth exploring.
This world doesn't comprehend how resilient it is.
So the game starts out in your chosen race's homeland and you play through your own personal story. Your choices slightly shape how the story unfolds, and ultimately you want to stop the Elder Dragons from destroying Tyria. I like the story, there's some pacing issues at times, but I think it's solid with plenty of iconic characters you'll come to meet like Ritlock and Logan.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Heart of Thorns directs you into the Maguma jungle to face off against the Elder Dragon Mordremoth. The region is very vertically designed, can be a little frustrating at times, but you do unlock gliding, which makes navigating the jungles a lot more satisfying.
Fair enough.
Pacifier is a brilliant expansion, taking you to the Crystal Desert to give chase to a rogue god. The mounts I talked about earlier, most of them are introduced here, and the mount system is stellar.
Let's give Balthazar a proper desert welcome.
End of Dragons takes place in the Jade Sea, with gorgeous architecture and new mechanics like your personal skiff, fishing, and the Siege Turtle mount. The zones are beautiful and the story and encounters are great.
Welcome to Janthir.
In addition to expansions, Guild Wars 2 has the Living World, which is new story content and regions in between expansions.
If it's not an Elder Dragon, it's something else.
And after the main expansions, ArenaNet changed things up. Expansions become smaller, more frequent, and as a trade-off, cheaper. So you have to bear that in mind and set your expectations going forward.
Well, guess I'm on my own with this one.
Secrets of the Obscure. This starts a new story arc, putting you up against a demonic threat known as the Cryptus. This one is focused around the Skyscale mount, introduces a lot of new characters, and I quite enjoyed the story.
I do like it when my prey is determined.
Janthir Wilds is a short story where we're trying to earn the cooperation of the Coden, and I loved learning about these bears and seeing their culture. This expansion focuses on the Warclaw mount. I thought it was a bit disappointing story-wise, but it redeemed itself with player housing. You can run your own homestead, craft furniture, and the space you get is massive. I absolutely love it, and now I've added building this up to my list of long-term goals.
Tyria has allied. Amusing joke you play.
Visions of Eternity is the newest expansion focused on the Skimmer mount and sending players to the beaches of Castora. It's a little underwhelming so far, but it's just started, there's more to see.
Am I so theatrical to you now, Wayfinder?
One thing about these newer expansions that can be annoying is filler quests. Sometimes you have to grind side content before progressing onto the next story mission.
Don't want it.
Now, it can be a drag, but the story and rewards are worth it. All these expansions are still relevant, the zones are still full of people doing stuff and world bosses, and that's thanks to the game's design philosophy and horizontal progression. If I had to rank these, Path of Fire is my personal favourite, love the story and the mount system is stellar. I think Ender Dragons would be my second favourite, some really cool zones, great story, some awesome encounters. I think Heart of Thorns is strong in the story department, but I think the base game of Guild Wars 2 would be my third favourite. And out of the 3 smaller scale expansions, Secrets of the Obscure is my personal favourite for the story. While you could jump straight into the newer, shorter expansions, I'd personally recommend doing them all from start to finish. So, big elephant in the room, let's talk monetization, especially since this MMO doesn't have a subscription fee. There is a free trial, but you just buy the game and expansion packs. While you can purchase some advantages like level boosts or straight up buy gold, which will buy anything on the auction house, including those more cosmetic legendaries, honestly, I think it's on the lighter side of paying for advantages. There's paid subscription MMOs with far more aggressive monetization.
You'll never beat me to a good deal!
Another system, the Wizard's Vault, lets you earn some very easy gold, and that can be used to purchase some cash shop items like skins or little conveniences. Bearing that in mind, I consider it quite generous. You can also earn cash shop currency from achievements. Guild Wars 2 is also big on achievements. Every 500 achievement points earns you account bonuses, skins, currency, and sometimes even cash shop gems. As someone who enjoys chasing achievements, this system is incredibly rewarding and addictive.
But as Blish always said, don't masticate where you hibernate. What?
There's so much more to talk about. I think Guild Wars 2 has the best seasonal events I've seen in any MMO, like Halloween and Winter's Day with crazy jumping puzzles, and even a mini tower defense mode. Speaking of jumping puzzles, I know they're not for everyone, but they're optional and I love them. There's PvP and World vs World where you battle other worlds over castles. It's been a while, but I've had so many epic moments like holding a castle until the reinforcements, as in another friendly guild arrived and trampled the enemy army. It felt straight out of Lord of the Rings. One thing I really appreciate is no seasonal gear resets. That's a huge reason I've been able to play Guild Wars 2 on and off for years without burning out. I don't feel pressure to log in, I play because it looks fun, or I want to work on long-term goals like legendaries, unlocking all my masteries, or building up my homestead. If you haven't tried it yet, give it a go, there's a free trial. But I recommend the Elder Dragons Saga Complete Bundle. It often goes on sale for a fraction of the price. I wanted to catch up with Guild Wars 2, so maybe I'll review future expansions down the line. In the meantime, if you're interested in more content, check out my top 10 games of 2025 or my recent replay of Final Fantasy XVI. Thanks for watching and have a good one.